Hello! A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Ta-da! The Advent 7 Podcast, Episode 8, Star Wars Day. Welcome to the Advent 7 Podcast. I'm your host and one with the Force, Trey. And I'm joined today by Rebel Alliance leader and ace pilot, Andrew.
Hello. I am pilot. I shoot good with my lasers.
And then I'm also joined by Clone Squadron leader, Professor Shinobi.
Gold leader standing by.
We've also got the Phantom Menace, Spencer.
All right, I got my dual bladed sword. And it's like, let's just go. Oh no, I'm gonna fall down a hole. Oh, okay, I guess I'm dead now.
And Master of the Castle Run, Philip.
The what? Oh yeah, that.
Okay, so first I just want to say, Trey, like when you said long ago in a distant land, I almost followed up with Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil. But a foolish samurai warrior wielding a foolish samurai warrior.
Anyways, okay, everybody, it's May, so we have to talk about one of the biggest franchises in the world, Star Wars. Before we get started, we'd like to thank all of you for tuning in. And if you enjoy what we're doing, let us know by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Once you're done here, feel free to check out some of our other videos. We've got an Among Us stream that was us testing out the new airship map. Or, since you're here, you probably enjoy stuff that Disney owns. So check out our WandaVision podcast. And of course, and finally, don't forget to head over to advent7.com and check out Frank's review on the new Combat movie.
Finish him!
Spoiler warning for any and all Star Wars media we talk about today. You have been warned. And with all that taken care of, let's jump to light speed and talk about space wizards, alien bounty hunters, and galactic trade agreements.
And merchandising rights.
And merchandising rights.
Are the
I've been all over the place, and I've not seen any kind of mystical magic mumbo jumbo that strings everything together. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, but before we get started, here are all the spoilers that we need to get out of the way right now. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father, Palpatine is Rey's grandfather, and Darth Maul did not die in Episode 1. All spoilers are done now. All the major spoilers out of the way.
And Mace Windu still lives on in all of our hearts.
Yes. Very much so.
Also, biggest spoiler of all, like, podracing was the best thing to come out of the Star Wars franchise. There, I said it. I mean, feel free to stop listening to our podcast now. You guys.
I mean, you're not wrong.
End of the day, wrap it up. That was a good podcast.
Well, no, the important thing about that is that you have to remember that George Lucas actually was in race car driving for a good while, and then he really loved that sport, but then he kind of got in an accident and really couldn't do that again, and so he did movies, and it's like, oh, I can do racing in space!
I did not know this story.
Cool.
That makes a lot more sense now in hindsight.
Right? Or it's like, why is this like the most hype thing about the entire movie? And it's like, you know what? We should just make a video game about this.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a great racing game, and kids are going to love it, and Sebulba's going to cheat and throw a flamethrower at people.
Yes, very much so. I would like to talk about that game, actually, when we get there.
For now, let's go down the line. Everyone's experience with Star Wars. I will start us off. So, my experience with Star Wars has been, at first, I didn't care about it. I had always just thought it was for nerds, back when I thought I was trying to be cool. What a fool I was at such a young age.
That's okay. We all have that phase. That's the same reason why I didn't watch Zoe 101 as a kid. until I caved
That
in.
show slapped. All right.
It did slap. I'm sorry. Back to Star Wars.
Yeah, I didn't like. I think part of the reason I didn't like Star Wars is because the prequel trilogy was boring at the start. Episode 3, in my opinion, is the best of the prequel trilogies. So,
Yeah.
like, you could at me all you want, but that one was probably the best of the 3, and that didn't come out until I was what? When did that come out? 2005. So like 4th or 5th grade.
Oh man, don't add a year to that. Oh.
Yeah, it came out like May 13th, 2005 or something like that.
Yikes! That was a long time ago.
In a distant galaxy.
Gosh, imagine kids today, like the episodes 7 through 9. That's kind of like that's about as influential to them as the prequels were to us when we were growing up.
Yep. But yeah, so
yeah, ain't that carbon dating?
This make everyone feel old time. This is make everybody feel old. But yeah, so after that, I didn't love Star Wars, but I started to see, okay, this is kind of cool. The animated series hit on Cartoon Network, both the Genndy Tartakovsky version and the CG version that made by Dave Filoni.
Yes.
Both of them top-tier animated mediums. Just good God! And I finally got to. The first thing I did when I got Disney Plus. Well, one of the first things I did was start to rewatch/finish watching all of Star Wars: The Clone Wars and all of Star Wars Rebels.
I'm currently in the process right now of doing a rewatch of the Clone Wars since I never got to actually see like those final, well, quote unquote final seasons that they made later on.
Yep, same
And
here.
it's just been
I
so long that I'm just like, okay, yeah, this needs to be rewatched at this point. So I'm like very nearly done with season 2. I think I've got like 4 more episodes.
Yeah, I literally just finished my rewatch of Clone Wars like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I only watched them like 2 episodes a week. It's like I have Disney Plus and I'm using it to my fullest. I'm not binging through every show maximum speed. I'm not giving up Disney Plus anytime soon. I can take my time and enjoy.
I gotta say, it's so convenient that all these different mediums of Star Wars storytelling are all just compiled into Disney Plus now. Like, you want to go watch the OG Genndy Tartakovsky animated Clone Wars series? It's on there. So is the main series. Yeah.
They just added that, which was fantastic. That's what I'm gonna probably watch on May the 4th since we're recording this early. But that's definitely what I'm watching on Star Wars Day.
Right, right. And I think it's also worth pointing out that like we decided to do this podcast in lieu of May the 4th. We couldn't do it the day of because it's a Tuesday, and normally we can't get together until the evening to do these podcasts. So we're just doing it a couple days earlier. But yeah, now it just seemed like a good time to talk about Star Wars in general.
Yeah. Other than I finally got on the wave of Star Wars is freaking awesome after watching Clone Wars for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I like this. I like this a lot. Nothing really happened with Star Wars up before, I guess, when I got to college and we started watching, and all the main friend group got to go see basically 4 out of the 5 new Disney movies that they released.
Oh yeah, we saw all 3 of the new trilogy and what was it?
Rogue One.
Rogue One and Solo was the other movie.
We did
Solo's
not see
the only
Solo
movie
together.
I haven't seen personally.
Okay.
It is not worth the time.
It's okay.
That's why.
It's not the worst movie, but I mean, it's a Star Wars movie. It's not.
I'm
terrible.
gonna go on the stark opposite of the spectrum here and say that Solo is very much worth your time. And it's far more worth your time than any other Star Wars movie they've made over the past, 5 or so years. So.
This man does not know what he speaks.
Oh, I know what I speak. I know what I speak when I say that Rogue One was a great story in theory. However, the acting was awful in that movie.
Fair. No, that's fair.
I was not a fan of Rogue One's acting, which is sad because it had some really good actors in it I wanted to see.
Right.
Well, that's basically my Star Wars story. So, Andrew, why don't you tell us yours?
So, okay, yeah, that's part of it. My Star Wars journey definitely began with Episode 1. I think when did Episode 1 come out? What was that, like 2001?
99?
Something like that. Yeah, if it was 99, I was living in Iceland at the time as a really little child.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I lived in Iceland for like the first few years of my life. And
How is that the first time hearing of this?
I was in the Air Force. I was in the Air Force family, so my family was stationed a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, but so the reason why I bring that up is because I vividly remember that all my Bionicle and Lego shelves I have in my bedroom had Anakin Skywalker stickers on them. Specifically, the sticker was the shot of child Anakin from Episode 1 in that scene at Coruscant where he's talking to like the other Jedi, like the Council. And, you know, Qui-Gon's trying to convince them to let Qui-Gon teach Anakin, you know, the ways of the Force. So
Right.
I had a bunch of these stickers just, like, in my bedroom. And I played a lot of the Star Wars Episode 1 pod racing game on the Nintendo 64 that my brother and I had. That game was immensely difficult. Like,
Oh God, yes.
holy cow, you would just be flying through some of these courses. And for anybody out there who knows what F-Zero is, anybody who's familiar with F-Zero, or specifically the game F-Zero X for Nintendo 64, this Star Wars racer game was heavily inspired by that. A lot of very tight turns that you don't see coming until they happen, and you just smash right into the side of a cliff. And you explode, and you're like, well, shit. Like, little Annie just, like, ate it. He just ate it on the side of this
blew
mountain.
up?
Yeah, he just
Right,
exploded.
This is not Mario Kart in the way of, you fell in the water. We gotta get you out. You are just like full on NASCAR, hit the wall, exploded. They get the fire extinguishers, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it was pretty violent. But man, that game was so fast, and I think I got pretty good at it eventually. But
Oh yeah.
if I pick up that game again today, like I would be awful at it because you just had to have really good reflexes, and a lot of being good at that game was muscle memory. So
The passage of time, it takes so much.
but
Yeah, it was also awful when you look up the walkthrough. All it said was feel, don't focus, and I'm like, what the hell am I supposed to do?
Well, it's like that scene in
Telling you to use the Force.
yeah, it's like being Luke Skywalker in the cockpit of an X-wing. It's just like, you know, don't rely off of guides, don't rely off of technology or, you know, like guiding systems. Just feel it. If you feel like now's the time to turn, then like just, you know, no holds barred, just go for it. So yeah, played a lot of that game. I really loved the first movie. I loved the aesthetics of Tatooine. And I think we all did. Like Tatooine's a death planet, but it looks cool. It's got like 2 suns. So I loved the first movie for pod racing, for all the scenes in Tatooine. Everything else outside of that part of the movie was kind of boring to me.
You don't like the trade talks?
Trade talks are so important.
Unfortunately, I could not appreciate the complexity of trade talks back then. But,
Fair.
Yeah.
But now episode 2 and 3, like those were cool. Honestly, by the time episode 3 came out, I wasn't that interested in Star Wars anymore. And seeing it as a kid, I just remember being really bored.
Yeah.
Like the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan was cool, but I think even at that age, I kind of knew I didn't really like Anakin. So I didn't care much about his story, and unfortunately, his story was like the main focus of the whole movie. So, yeah, but I'd say my biggest interest in Star Wars came from the animated series by Genndy Tartakovsky that aired on Cartoon Network around the early 2000s, around the time that the episode 2, Attack of the Clones, came out. So yeah, like those little mini episodes were really cool. I think they were only maybe like 5 minutes long or something like that. And
Yeah, they
think one was
were
like
really
3.
short.
Right. It was more like a
yeah, I'm
mini
looking up the running time right now. Season 1 through 2, the longest one is 5 minutes. Season 3, they apparently go from 12 to 15 minutes.
Huh.
That's cool. Yeah, well, it got really popular towards the end. It didn't start off being like immensely watched, but they made that miniseries with Genny Tarkovsky at the head of it up until episode 3 came out, and it's very interesting because like the last episode of that series, Mace Windu chases after General Grievous, and when Grievous jumps onto a dropship, he looks out of the back like dropship door, and Mace Windu sees him and force chokeholds him. Like Mace Windu force chokeholds Grievous like while he's on the ship until it takes off, and Mace Windu like loses his grasp. But immediately after that, we go right into the live events of the third movie, and Grievous is like choking and coughing, like he is raspy all over. It's because he just has like throat almost crushed by Samuel Jackson. So I remember
remember if they're canon or not. That's the problem. Because they retcon the Genny Tarkovsky series.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so maybe it's not canon anymore, but that was definitely what was going on. That last episode came out shortly before the third movie, and in the miniseries, Grievous didn't cough. Like, Grievous was thoroughly spoken, but after that moment, he was like...
Well, in the animated show, when they first had Grievous, they didn't know, like the Tarkovsky, all they had was the design of Grievous. They had no idea of his personality or anything. To make him devoid of personality, just this killing machine.
Right, which he did kill. He killed a lot. Oh my gosh.
Goodness.
The first introduction of Grievous in the animated series, I think he slays like 4 or 5 Jedi in this like temple.
I mean, how else is he supposed to add to his collection?
That's
He
where he
didn't have a
first learned
collection
that.
before that. That was the first Jedi he's killed. Well, no, wait, he killed one in Geonosis.
There's no way that was the first one he kills, considering the belt that he had at that time.
He might have killed other Jedi before that, but that was the first time we were introduced to him, and it was gruesome. That was very unheard of for a cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the same guy that directed Samurai Jack, and if you replaced all the oil in that first robot fight with blood, it would not be a kid's show. It would not be acceptable on HBO, but that would be about it.
Very true. Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, I was obsessed with that miniseries when it came out. I remember like seeing it on TV in between episodes of Time Squad. On Cartoon Network.
God.
Yeah. If that carbon dates
That's
this.
a name I haven't heard for a very long
Time Squad? I don't think I actually know that one.
It was a very short-lived show on Cartoon Network, but it came out around the time of Samurai Jack.
Get the elevator pitch of this. Imagine She-Body and Pearl and She-Body. I'm trying to remember the name of the little kid and the dog that went back in time constantly.
Oh, She-Body and Sherman. Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah. So imagine that show, except you get a tough as nails cop and a robot and the small kid who need to go back in time because, you know what? Thomas Edison didn't feel like inventing the light bulb. He feels like singing. And it's like, no, Edison, you need to invent the light bulb. Continuity needs to be a thing.
Yeah.
Say.
Yeah, no, it was a good show.
It was one of Cartoon Network's wacky ideas that didn't last long, but there was a decent amount of work put into any of the Cartoon Network shows.
Having some charm to it, so
yeah. Didn't last long, but it had heart.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, moving past that, I think after that, yeah, my biggest influences were the Genny Tarkovsky show, episode 1, specifically the pod racing aspect, and Rogue Squadron 2, the Star Wars game for the GameCube. I played a ton of that with my older brother growing up when we moved from Iceland to South Korea. And I mean, it was basically like just Star Wars. Like it was Star Fox. It was the Star Fox game with like Star Wars like aesthetics over it. But it was really cool. You just fly around in this open area above the Death Star and just shoot down TIE fighters. Like it's super fun. So so that's pretty much like the bulk of my childhood nostalgia with Star Wars. And but I mean, beyond that, like, I'm a massive fan of the CG animated Clone Wars series. That show made so many leaps and bounds. I think it really carried the popularity of Star Wars throughout the late 2000s.
Definitely, it definitely did.
So yeah, that's pretty much my whole spiel about Star Wars, like my experiences with it.
Professor Shinobi?
Guys, you make me feel so old because
Sorry.
my first experience was VHS copies of episodes,
yeah.
4, 5, and 6. Because that was the first way that we had Star Wars. We didn't start with it back in 1999 when I was 10. So I definitely started off where I was watching the VHS tapes. I watched it with my uncle, who was a really, really big Star Wars fan. My dad had the limited edition copies as well. We went to go see Star Wars in theaters, and I remember every single time I got out of the theater, I was like, wow, that was cool. What I should have said was, wow, those effects were cool.
Yeah.
And really, I think a lot of my passion for Star Wars was like I would constantly love to watch lightsaber videos, and there were two things that I knew. Number one, Ryan versus Dorkman absolutely knew what they were doing. That was a very, very long series compared to the rest of them because it was 5 minutes and 10 minutes on episode 2 of lightsaber fighting. Whereas most of them were like, hey, we got 2 seconds. And I was like, why the fuck are all of these so goddamn short? And then I realized what rotoscoping is. So, fun fact for all of you who may not know, imagine taking every single frame on a reel and scratching on it and then coloring that in for every frame so that you look like that you have a lightsaber. That's what rotoscoping is. It's a huge pain in the ass.
Wait, that's how they did that? That's how they pulled off the lightsaber effects?
Pretty much to my understanding, yes.
Oh my goodness.
But
that hurts me. That sounds just grueling.
Even digital rotoscoping, dude, is just so much work because it's like you have to track the item, you have to make sure that it's the exact same shape, and in between frames, if you swing something, the shape may not be a stick. It might be kind of like a weird pizza-looking wedge, and you gotta make sure it looks real. So you can't go, well, we're just gonna not animate the pizza wedge. You're gonna go, okay, well, we gotta rotoscope that too. So now we have to have the outline for that and follow this and do the whole thing. And hold on. He's holding the green one. This one's the red one. Okay, we gotta do that again.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was a huge thing for me when I went into learning broadcasting in college. The other big thing for me that I think was a big element of Star Wars in my life was the Battlefront games.
Oh, wow.
Where it's like, all right, we're going to be stormtroopers, and then I'm going to be a Jedi for like 2 minutes if I'm lucky. Let's do this.
Yeah, the Battlefront games are classic.
They absolutely are.
The revival that EA
DLC.
made. The revival that EA brought back a few years ago was not quite up to snuff, if you ask me.
I'm going to call it bantha fodder at that point. I think that's
That's fair. That's very fair. EA Sports, it's in the microtransaction.
It ain't in the game, that's for damn sure.
Well, and it was a big thing.
Not in the game, it's not in the DLC, it's not even in the credits.
Well, and okay, so the big thing about that one, if people don't know, was that DLC was available so you could do loot boxes and you could eventually unlock characters. Well, let's just say that you are a Star Wars fan, you want to play as Darth Vader, and I say, good on you, buddy. You should go play Star Wars so you can unlock it. Does anyone want to take a crack at how long it takes to unlock Darth Vader consistently? 60
hours?
Like a couple 100 hours?
It's closer to 200.
Oh.
Ouch. It assumes on top of it that you do not use anything to unlock other content. So these are no, I dice roll it until I get Darth Vader. This is, I'm going to save up my pennies to do this, or I can pay you, I want to say it was like 60 or 80 bucks.
Oh my God.
On top,
Excuse me?
Okay, yeah.
Almost
so
like
it's like, well, we
passing the
wanted to
game.
make you feel like that you earned the character. It's like, bitch, I fucking earned to play this game. I can understand if there's a little bit of an unlock thing where it's like, okay, listen, in order to get Darth Vader, you have to beat him in boss rush mode. Okay, fine, we can do that. Then there's a skill cap instead of, okay, everybody, go back to the mill, grind, grind, grind. Ugh.
Oh my god.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
disgusting.
That sounds awful.
Absolutely
Wow.
disgusting. So then my experience in Star Wars gets to be watching those first 3 episodes technically in theaters and always thinking, yeah, the effects were really good. And I remember walking away from the 3rd one going, wow, that was the best one of the 3. And I technically knew everything that was going to happen in that movie. That's kind of weird.
Wait, you thought that Revenge of the Sith was the best one?
Out of the 3 of the prequels?
Yeah.
Well,
that,
you know, I guess I can respect that because, I mean, visually, aesthetically, look at that climactic fight between Obi-Wan and
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Wasn't that directed by Steven Spielberg? Like just that scene, just that climactic scene.
That's the first I've ever heard of that. Dude.
I've never heard of that.
yeah, no.
I'm just gonna Google it real quick. Like who directed the climax in Star Wars Episode 3? I'm just gonna look it up here real quick.
Yeah.
No, I was also looking up what year that was. That was in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, let's see, 16 years ago.
Yeah,
I
we're all-
was 15. So I don't know. Maybe it's just like finally an edgy Star Wars. It's like no, close, man.
finally hit that. Finally, I feel cool watching a nerd thing.
Well, okay, so you gotta also realize that like Star Wars permeates a little bit more of my high school career because my Japanese teacher, Kakiyama Sensei, would use a lightsaber as a pointer stick.
Nice.
So there was always a lightsaber within school reach every single day I went to school in high school. So yeah, that was interesting.
It's like how many kids grabbed the lightsaber and then was immediately disciplined.
She has thrown it on a couple occasions, in all honesty. Debu deserved it, though. I'm just going to level with you right there. But yeah, there was a lot of interactions that I had with Star Wars. The cartoons didn't come out until, let's see. I had that one pulled up as well.
I'm just going to quick interject here. As far as Spielberg in episode 3, it seems like the most that he was a part of was, quote, playing with some of the animatic stages of like designing like fights and chase scenes and that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what I'm seeing too. I don't remember where I saw that climax was directed by him. I guess I was.
You might
wrong.
have saw his name in the credits somewhere.
No, I could have sworn I heard about that like when the movie came out, but never mind.
Right.
Mandela effect, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and then I went to go see Rogue One in theaters, and I was like, this is a Star Wars movie.
It is a Star Wars movie.
It's a
movie
Star
about
Wars.
Star Wars.
Well, hold up. No, it's a Star Wars story.
It is it's true. True.
But
Yeah,
I mean, like
yeah,
Rogue
technically
One.
a story is once upon a time I went to the store and then I came home and took a nap. The end.
Rogue One
And I can
aesthetically.
take that and I can say this is a Professor Shinobi story, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can't argue with that.
The story itself, I ain't gonna defend that. But
Oh,
but the
no.
aesthetics, the set design, the aliens, like the ships, those were all
Yeah.
like very much inherently Star Wars, and we were missing that in the new trilogy that came out at the time. Like the new trilogy was trying, but really
Yeah.
like what we all wanted was much more of that grunge post-apocalyptic technology that the original trilogy was known for. I wanted to see
Yeah.
more cantinas. I wanted to see more rough and tough encounters with aliens, and that's what the Mandalorian does.
Yes. Mandalorian does a really good job with that. I would say that I don't know what we call them. They're not the prequels, the sequel trilogy.
Yes, sequel trilogy.
So, yeah, exactly. One of them is just like, oh, we're gonna do like dog races, and it's like, why? Oh, I don't know, because like, it shows classism, and it's like this movie's never been about that.
I will never forgive Ryan Johnson for putting Finn on that side quest. I will never forgive him for it.
So dumb. I was watching that going, okay, so how long is this side scene gonna last? Oh god, this is the movie. Oh god.
Yeah, I think that we can all kind of agree that side quest that Finn was stuck on did not feel very Star Wars like. He just went to a normal casino and then he rode on the back he rode on the back of an alien horse.
The dogs were free. They're free now.
Well, what I think that bit was trying to show, I think the more important part of that was at the very end you see the kid using the Force. And at the time though, I feel like they're trying to set up that anyone can be a powerful Force user. And that's sort of how it's going at the end of The Last Jedi, is anyone can be it. It's not a name thing. It doesn't matter if you're a no one.
I maintain that I did like what they were thematically trying to do with The Last Jedi. It was Last Jedi, wasn't it?
Yeah, Last Jedi. I do not hate Last Jedi. I hate the fact that I hate the side quest. I completely hate the side quest. The main story is actually very good, but that side quest angers me.
Oh yeah.
I appreciate what they were trying to do with it, to try and kind of break it off and not make it, it's like, okay, it doesn't, like, the lineage of who Rey is doesn't actually matter. At the end of the movie, you have the scene with the kid, and it's like anyone could be a Jedi, could be a Force user, be a Jedi or whatnot. There's like opening up to a lot more stories. I don't particularly appreciate what they did to Luke's character. Like he went full crazy, like the same way that his father did. It's just like, oh no, he had a bad dream, I'm gonna chop him up. It's like,
well, the
Luke,
the movie starts off with Luke Skywalker taking the central symbol of Episode 7 that kind of like led the entire journey, that lightsaber, and he chucks it right over a soldier, like right over a soldier off of a cliff.
To be fair, that weapon did murder a bunch of kids.
Yeah,
so
you mean the Youngling Killer 9000?
Yep, the Youngling Destroyer 9000.
Master Annie, what do we do? They're everywhere. Yeah, like I appreciate that they wanted to make Luke much more grumpy, because he was our aspiring, hopeful hero. He brought hope with him to everybody else he met in the original trilogy, and he has just been through so much by this point that it's just not the same for him anymore. He's lost that hope he once had, that he embodied. But
the thing
I think
is
they drove that a bit too hard, to the point of making him almost just a completely different person.
Yeah.
They could have easily still had this same Luke, but to make it work, it really seemed like you needed to give him more of a reason to have lost hope. Like I was saying earlier, like his quick judgment of Ben was just like, this is just completely out of left field. It should have been he was like full on hunted by the Empire, it should have been something along the lines of like dark side users or something should have been full on like hunting down his students or something, and ultimately having that happen, like something that he had feared would always happen, but still holding out hope that things would turn out okay, and then not turning out okay. Had it been something along those lines, then like his full on like grumpy is like, I give up. I've tried everything. Like you could still have it. Like you could still make a case for it's like, oh, Luke wouldn't give up like that or something like that. Right. But you could still make that case if more had been shown to have happened leading up to the events with Ben being like turned or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
like there needed to be more for that like backstory to make his reversal of character make sense.
Yeah, it just kind of happens. We just see the moment of. We don't see a lot of build up to it, so that's why it feels like it's out of place for Luke.
Well, especially since he goes full bitter instead of being somber. Somber would have made sense to me.
Mm-hmm. There are moments of Last Jedi I do appreciate, like the Red Room fight with the Red Guards.
Oh my god!
Like, holy cow! Like they plastered that scene all over their marketing, and for good reason. It is visually striking. Like when I say Red Room, you all know what I'm talking about because it just and it's Rey and Kylo fighting back to back, a team up you did not imagine was going to happen.
Except for all the Reylo shippers.
Well, yeah, but screw those guys. The point is that like it was a good moment in the movie. It was a fun fight scene, and then they killed Snoke, and you're like, well, wait, they just killed him? What?
Yeah,
but he's the villain. How we have one more movie to go? Why did they do that? What's going on? So is Kylo gonna be the main villain? Yeah. So that was kind of iffy, but at least like the fight scenes are cool. And like a lot of the new aliens they introduced are cool. Those the snow planet. No, it wasn't a snow planet. It had that red.
Salt.
It was
salt.
It was salt.
It was salt.
Yeah,
right?
it was salt.
Oh yeah.
The salt cats on Crate.
Yeah, and
I love that scene where Ben and Luke are fighting, and you don't really notice it until like someone points it out to you afterwards. It's like the entire time during that fight, Ben is making like marks in the salt snow, and Luke there is absolutely nothing happening underneath his feet, showing that he's not actually there.
Oh, I'm gonna need to see that.
Very nice touch. Yeah, I realized that the second time I saw the movie.
Yeah, when someone pointed that out to me, I was just like, oh, they did foreshadow it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just got to pay real close attention.
Yep.
Now,
I want that freaking internet connection. It's like zero lag across multiple light years. Like, where is that, Google?
I forget.
It's the Force, it's the best form of information that your information transfer you're gonna get.
Did the salt?
No, it's literally instantaneous.
Did the salt turn red? Like when
like some sort of like red stuff underneath it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That again, like red was just kind of the color aesthetic for that movie. So, to me, it just looked really cool. I loved seeing some of the ships that they flew on that planet that like made marks in the sand. Like they had those giant fins underneath. Yeah, that drove those paths in the sand. That just looked cool. So they did a lot of things aesthetically right with Last Jedi, and the wolves that they met inside those caves. You know, those were really badass. The porgs were kind of
creatures are always really good.
The porgs were kind of ugly, but in like an adorable way. They were very adorably disgusting.
The porgs in
a
there,
puntable kind of way.
Yeah, in a very like fried chicken kind of way. You know, like
I mean, they look delicious.
The porgs were there though because they couldn't. It'd be too hard to edit out all the birds on the island. And so they just added the porgs there because it's easier to animate and like give them to look like the porg as opposed to just completely removing them.
It's incredibly genius if that's really why they did that.
Oh, it's 100% why. They were puffins and they were super annoying.
Yep, that makes sense. That totally makes sense.
Instead, they turned it into a fantastic marketing ploy, and there were porg toys everywhere, and kids bought them.
All hail the porg. The porg
until
is
a certain other marketing stunt came along and destroyed the internet once more.
What, Kalo?
Yeah.
Or
no,
Raylo?
no.
Oh, fuck it was called.
Grogu.
Baby Yoda. But Spencer, you haven't gotten a chance to tell your story. Let's hear your story.
All right. Thinking back here.
Tell your Star Wars story.
When did stuff start? I can't remember exactly when I first saw the prequel series, but I do remember how I first saw the original trilogy, and that was just from the movies being run consecutively on. I don't think it was Sci-Fi Channel. It was like
it probably was like TNT or something.
TNT probably. It might have been that. But
you see, back
it was
in the day.
It was one of those channels where it's like where it was showing on there, and I remember flipping through the I think it was like DirecTV or something, and seeing that Star Wars was on. I'm just like, oh yes, and I would record it and I would get ready to watch it because like I liked the original trilogy a lot, and then eventually at some point I think I got around to watching the prequel series and just feeling a little bit unimpressed by it overall. I was just like,
As you should.
it's kind of boring. Like I liked like particular like scenes
Yeah.
in the prequel series. Like there were scenes that were fun. It's like, oh yeah, like say for instance in the Clone Wars with Yoda and Dooku's fighting, just seeing Yoda just like absolutely
Bouncing
flipping
around.
and just being like, oh hello, this is great. And then several scenes from Revenge of the Sith and just unlimited power and that sort of thing. Unlimited power. Like so yeah, like I really enjoyed the original trilogy, and then the sequel series I enjoyed scenes of it, but overall I was rather unimpressed at the time.
Yeah.
And then after that, what I had seen was not the the Tarkovsky animated series. The first series that I saw was the one following that, the Clone Wars series.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I remember watching a lot of that. That was a heck of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
I remember thinking that Ahsoka was a bit annoying at first, but then as time went on, she grew on me. It's like, okay, no, she's actually a pretty great character.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy the fact that she's gotten as much love as she has over the years.
Mhm.
I especially enjoyed seeing her just pop up in The Mandalorian recently. It's just like, oh my goodness, I thought that you guys were going to like screw up how she would look and act in Mandalorian, but it's like, nah, you got it pretty spot on, and I appreciate this.
Yep. My only complaint was that her hair, her leku, was too short. But I know from a costuming standpoint that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like since she was actually an active fighter, because they had someone who was of Ahsoka's species in the prequel trilogy, but she didn't do much. So
Yeah. But
Shakti.
as far as like Star Wars media went, that was about where it stood for me for many years until finally the sequel trilogy came out. I remember enjoying the first of the prequel trilogies of just like a big grand homage to the original stuff and kind of setting up a new trio of characters to follow. It's like, okay, yeah, this is fine. This is the first of the three movies. Like, I'll give them some leeway here and there. It's like, yeah, it was very much just the first movie again, essentially. But
Which
there
was fine. Like, that was totally fine. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was the
there was
only
still
way.
some hope here. Ha 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 ha.
I feel like that was the only way to satisfy everybody with a new movie up front, was just to repeat the events. But that didn't mean that we wanted like the next movies to be the same as well. We just we wanted to know that Star Wars was going to remember its roots, and it did. So
Right.
Episode 7 was
And
a
then
great setup movie.
And then episode 8 came along, and my previous comments on episode 8 stand in that regard. And then episode 9 happened, and then I did lose hope. And I just sat there in just dismay at what I was seeing and just being like, what bastardization is this? What have you done? Like, I want this to actively be retconned by whatever TV series stuff that they're doing now. I actively want it retconned. It's like, no. This needs to be like some sort of like alternate timeline that they've got going on. It's like, no, I don't want this. This was terrible.
Remember that I hadn't seen the 9th movie yet, and someone posted like artist renditions of what they were thinking about doing for episode 9 called Duel of Fates.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was so much better. It was this idea where like Rey would learn to be a Jedi, and at the very end she would actually like start up a new academy. That Kylo Ren would learn the ability to drain life from them, and there would be a final climactic battle between the two of them, because it's always been about those two, and finally having Kylo Ren become the villain because he killed Snoke would have made sense.
Yeah.
And it was just a really cool idea, and it's just like there's also going to be a chase through this city. They're going to have a beheading to show that the rebellion is over, and I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome! And then that movie happens. It's like, yes, I'm finally back from retirement, and I brought ships that are the equivalent of Death Stars. And I'm like, okay,
goodness.
Grandpa, it's okay. Please go back.
Yeah, dude, they just made them bigger. They just went with like what's bigger than a Star Destroyer?
Those ships.
I would just also like to add that Star Wars, just in general, doesn't know the meaning of light speed at all. It's like, oh yeah, we have this planet destroyer, and we're going to destroy this other planet in this other solar system right now. It's like, excuse me?
I mean, like, even a solar beam takes 2 turns, dude. Like,
yeah. And then we also had episode 8 where they just like hyper speeded the ship into the other ships, and it's like, that looked absolutely cool. Also, this is absolutely why we've never done this before, because it literally just breaks everything. It's like, wait a minute, we could just hyperspeed objects at other things, and didn't we just create like the galaxy's like biggest railgun?
Yes,
I think we just
you
did.
Die. You basically die every time.
But the thing is that you wouldn't even need a giant ship. You can have like basically anything. If it's going fast enough, it's going to cause damage. Like
They haven't managed to miniaturize hyperdrives. Like, most ships can't travel at light speed unless they have a hyperdrive.
I mean,
most starfighters can in the Clone
something
Wars,
like
though.
say the Millennium Falcon bash into some cruisers, and it would still do damage if you had the right angle. Like, it just would.
Yeah.
right.
It's how momentum works.
Yes, it would.
I think one of the other big things for that movie that really got me upset wasn't the fact there was force healing or anything like that. I know some people were upset. Force healing was like, okay, well, I remember that being a thing in a couple other continuities, whatever, it's a thing. I know it exists. The thing that I'm upset about was that they said, oh, well, this is in the Sith language, that it's illegal for me to translate it. And I'm like, bitch, Google exists. Are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, if we do this, I have to wipe my memory. Then it's not illegal. And they're like, why? Why the fuck are we looking for a goddamn dagger that's written in a Sith language, which I know they were erased, that's fine, but why is it illegal to translate? It's like, oh yeah, we the rebels gotta obey the law.
I mean, the New Republic was the law for a bit, so...
I mean, I'm pretty sure if you go, hey, listen, if we don't translate this, like, all of our empire is just dead. Can we do that? Is that okay? Fine, cool. I mean, it would be difficult if it's like, oh, it's a dead language. We gotta go find a cipher for this. We don't know what it is. And it's like, no, illegal. Wipe the memory, guys.
It's also just bullcrap that C-3PO had Sith programmed into him at some point.
Yeah,
To be
really.
fair, Anakin did build him.
I mean, yeah, but Anakin didn't even know what Sith was.
Yeah, no,
Listen, didn't Anakin build him as a child?
I want to be a speed racer.
How did Anakin do this at the ripe age of 10?
He's the chosen one.
The
He's
Force.
Jesus.
Okay,
The Force,
Andrew,
midi-chlorians,
I'm
that's
gonna
the
blow
answer.
your mind, Andrew. C-3PO is just a super advanced bionicle.
Don't you dare insult Bionicles by saying that. C-3PO wishes he was a Bionicle.
I mean,
He's the tall one.
it's built by a 10-year-old, and the 10-year-old thinks it's cooler than it actually is.
He doesn't wear a mask.
Yes, he does.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He's got to wear a mask
does.
over his robot face. Okay, it doesn't count. It doesn't count.
Andrew, you gotta give him this. It's like, he's not as flexible as Bionicle. Doesn't have that range of motion.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
fair.
He doesn't have ball joints. Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
That's fair.
Now, assassin droids, on the other hand.
Oh my god!
Sure.
Oh my god, the Mandalorian was like, what
Holy
would
cow.
happen if androids could move?
The Dark
What would happen
Troopers.
if there were things in this world that could actually aim accurately?
Oh my god, yes.
The Dark Troopers was a surprise and terrifying. Also, the K2SO droids from Rogue One and also the Jedi Fallen Order game. Those motherfuckers hit hard.
Oh,
yeah, they
was
did.
it K2SO? He was the big robot that was like all snarky and stuff in Rogue One, right?
Yes, yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he was probably the best part of that movie.
Oh yeah, he definitely was.
He was the most human, the most lovable character. And he
Yeah,
was just,
sure
he
he
was
was
just a
voiced by Alan
snarky ass
Tudyk.
droid.
Yes, he was.
I'm pretty sure he was voiced by Alan Tudyk, which
He was.
Like-
He was, yeah.
God bless Alan Tudyk. It's like he's just everything that he's been in. I've just loved his voice every single
Yeah.
time.
Diagnostics.
Speed
I'm
down now.
quite capable of running my own diagnostics. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, you are being kidnapped.
Do not talk.
Congratulations, you are being saved.
And there's a fresh one where that came from too. Oh yes,
All right.
he was wonderful.
Let's hear your story.
Yeah, Philip, you've been last, so we'll let you go.
I think my brother Matthew, every time he'd have guests over or that they'd stay the night, whether it be like Carl or a few of his other friends, they'd always watch episode 6 right as they went to sleep. And so that was always sort of playing. And then I played Battlefront 1 a bunch because it was one of the few games I owned or that we had in the house. And so, but then eventually we got the Star Wars Jedi Knight Academy on the PC. And then that was a fun game to play. And so I played a bunch of the games. And then I kind of watched those episodes 4, 5, and 6 whenever my brother would play them. And then every now and then he'd watch the prequels, and that's when I would watch it. And then my friend in elementary school was really into Star Wars. And so we'd talk about Star Wars. We would play the video games a bunch. And then we just kind of did that throughout all elementary school. Middle school, I sort of fell off from Star Wars, but I still liked watching the Clone Wars. And then I love the what's the original animated guy's name?
Gendy
Gendy
Tartakovsky.
Tarkovsky.
Yeah, I loved his shorts that were on. When I found them on DVD, I bought them because I was really excited, and I watched that over and over and over again because it was really fun.
Yeah, it was really good.
And then played with Star Wars games I could get a hold of. Empire at War, I think it is like our RTS Star Wars game. That one was a lot of fun. And then one of my brother's friends was one of the few people that actually read the books for Star Wars.
Ah, the ancient tomes.
Yes. And he would talk about all the crazy things that happened. And then once he started talking, he mentioned something about clone commandos. And then we happened to have the Star Wars commando game, Clone Commando. And that was probably my favorite game playing when I was a kid. Till it got stepped on by our dog and broke in half. But
Oh.
it was...
Sacred texts.
The sacred
So we
text.
did-
No.
That was a good scene in the movie. It was great seeing Yoda just shoot lightning.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was really cool.
And then in high school, I just sort of watched it. And then in college, I found Rebels. And I loved Rebels. I thought Rebels was, in my opinion, is better than the Clone Wars. Very
Those
That's
is
fair.
vastly underrated.
Yeah, I have not watched any of Rebels, and I know I need to. Like, I hear nothing but good things about it. I think that Rebels has inspired a whole new generation of Star Wars fans out of like kids.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
my
Rebels
watched- I
rekindled
watched
the
like
love
one
of Star
season
Wars for me.
of Rebels, and I did find it interesting that they actually went to like a Sith temple and everything, and they had that whole thing, and they had
Yes. The Return of Maul.
Vader and Ahsoka meeting back up. It was just like, oh shit, shit, like this is
Yeah,
crazy.
Season 2 of Rebels goes off. It's just like, wow.
Like,
They
yeah,
really
like-
went there.
like I didn't really think too much about the first season, but then when they got to that point with all the Sith stuff, I was just like, oh, this is actually going some places. This actually looks cool.
Yeah.
And then when Obi-Wan fights Maul for the final time, that was a very beautiful scene, in my opinion, for Star Wars.
It was so elegant. So elegant.
Okay, so I forgot to mention something, but that scene where Obi-Wan and Darth Maul fight again for the last time it was on Tatooine, right?
Yep.
So I didn't see that moment in Rebels, but I learned about it when I read that scene in a Star Wars comic book that my Latin teacher had when I was in high school. It was a compilation of short stories in the Star Wars universe, and one of them was that tale of how Darth Maul and Obi-Wan fought for the very last time. I think the book was called Star Wars Visionaries or something like that. I'll look it up. But yeah,
that's really cool.
It's actually that scene, like that whole storyline is based off of the comic.
Makes sense.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So I knew about that from the comic book, and I would tell my friends about it too who didn't read it. And then I heard that happened in Rebels many years later, and I was like, oh my God, that's the coolest thing ever. They remembered this story. Yeah. Like Darth Maul, he's got the same robot legs. Yeah. So yeah, that was really cool. I'll look up the title here, but it's a great book for anybody who just loves the kind of lore about Star Wars, wants to pick it up.
You said it was. Is it in Latin or is it in?
No. It was
class.
my Latin.
A Star Wars book in Latin. Now that's that would be interesting. I don't really know how you do that, but
yeah. Let me look up here what the book was called again. But I do remember vaguely. Yeah, I'm seeing pictures here. Star Wars Visionaries, Darth Maul. So Dark Horse Comics. It was a Dark Horse comic.
Makes sense.
okay.
Yep, I was right. It's called Star Wars Visionaries, 10 exciting tales from the concept artists who helped create the movie Revenge of the Sith.
Huh.
So, yeah, like it's very short, but there's a ton of really cool stuff in it, and each story also has its very own unique art style to it. So yeah, like I'm sure it's like $5 at your local, like, like 50% off comic book store. So like go check it out.
All right, I will. Because the more Star Wars media, the better.
Did not mean to override your tale. Just wanted.
Oh no, I love hearing more about this.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Also, like Darth Maul had a bunch of side plot in the Clone Wars CG series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's where he officially came back.
Yeah, that was where.
That he got an apprentice and broke the rule of two, sort of.
Yeah.
And then he fought Palpatine and the Palpatine fight was great.
Yeah, no, that shit was nuts. I was like, oh my God. And
he fought Palpatine?
Then he took over Yeah, he
my gosh.
took over Mandalore, and then he basically enraged Palpatine. So Palpatine showed up to kick his ass. Then after he kicked his ass, he just left.
Palpatine did not kill his brother. He just left. He just left.
Yeah, he just did.
What?
Okay, I didn't know this part.
It's in season 5. It's the end of season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Man, Darth Maul is
I
just
didn't
like...
ever get that far, so I'm going to have to continue onwards after I get done with Clone Wars.
Darth Maul is just like the unloved Sith child. Like, just the youngest child who can never do anything right.
As far as I understand it, the whole like Sith thing, especially with Palpatine's master and trying to find immortality and all that jazz, it's just like it's all just wow, this happened. And they're all just greedy bastards.
Yeah.
It's the rule of 2. If the law of the Sith is
cheated, they've been constantly cheating. The rule of 2 has never been a hard lock thing. When the Sith Lords of original, from what I understand, who instituted this, found out, and was like, everyone's cheating here. Well, fuck all y'all. Damn.
It's like the rule is you either die a Sith apprentice or you live long enough to kill your master.
Yeah? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's kind of how it rolls. But yeah, Darth Maul, so he came back for the first time in the CG Clone Wars series, and he had like a brother, right? Or
Yeah.
Savage Press.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. He was green Darth Maul.
Well,
Or like
yellow.
Yellowish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yellow
okay.
orange.
Yellow orange. Got it. Okay. I like that when those episodes came out was when I was getting old enough that I was kind of falling off of the series a little bit because I was watching all the episodes on Cartoon Network up until a certain point. I remember like the season where they introduced Savage, like there was a big hiatus time between that and the prior season, so I kind of fell off there. But I did remember reading reviews about those episodes from that season as they were coming out from IGN. I remember reading reviews in IGN and IGN authors being like, yeah, so this is a kid show, right? Like,
Yes,
like,
it's a kid show. For at least
like-
you have to be at least 12 to watch the show, though.
like I remember one of the writers saying, yeah, so this episode was great, but there were strippers in this episode.
Yeah, Star Wars is
What?
fun.
It's like, hold up, is this cool? Like, I guess, like the author's saying in this article, like, well, I guess most of us are adults who just love Star Wars. They're actually watching the show, but I'm pretty sure this kid's watching this. Huh. And that was it. So, yeah, I remember reading that and being like, whoa. Wow, Star Wars got cool.
The author's just like, I'm not really sure how to feel about this right now.
I must have been like 13 or something. I'm like, whoa, Star Wars has strippers in it? That's cool.
Yeah, that's the part that you were just like, oh, sweet. Strippers, not just like, should there be
No,
here?
but you know, as a 13-year-old kid, like you just kind of accept certain things aren't cool anymore. You grow out of them, and then you hear that happens, and you're like, wait, what? So, yeah, okay. Was there anything else, Philip?
Oh, I remember as a kid, I loved the Lego Star Wars games because that's what we had.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so Lego Star
Oh,
Wars games
God,
were
yes.
fantastic. Playing those as much as we could on the old Xbox, and truly it was a lot of fun. But then I think I forgot who it was, but someone in our family. Oh yeah, it was Josh, my older brother Josh. He took a baseball bat and smashed the disc, and so
Why do you get? Why does your family and everything keep breaking stuff?
well, all right. So to be fair, it was. So what would happen is they'd play baseball in the basement, and sometimes we'd use metal bats as opposed to the wiffle ball bats because we thought it was more fun. And so Josh then threw the bat, and then there was the disc lying around because we sometimes moved the Xbox to the big TV room, and then the baseball bat happened to land onto the disc or onto the case, and it broke the disc.
That's
Nice.
rough, buddy.
Dude, and
That's rough.
as a kid, if you break a video game, you probably ain't getting a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was.
yeah, that is rough.
At the very least, if it's like just the disc, like you still have like the save data and everything, so you can get a new copy and you can continue onward.
Yeah.
But say, for instance, if it was like a cartridge game,
Ooh, yeah.
that is just straight up just like,
It's dead.
I
It's
will
gone.
have despair now. I
Yeah.
shall look off in despair and wonder how I got to this point. What choices brought me here? What lies did I believe?
One of the people watching our stream right now, Delarian Academy, says baseball in the basement. I mean, like when you have
Basement.
siblings, you know, it's
what
gonna
happened is
happen.
my
right?
brother loved to play baseball, and so he'd have his friends, like 4 or 5 friends, and so yeah, I had 4 or 5 friends in the basement, and then Josh would. Then my brother would have his friends, and then I'd have my couple of friends, and then my sister would have a couple of friends, and so we'd play baseball until one of the vases broke or someone bled.
Wait, like
And-
all at once? All these people are in your basement all at once?
Yeah.
How
They
big was your
obviously had a giant
basement?
basement.
Yeah, like dude, my basement was big enough for like 4 people without getting too cramped, and we fit like a TV and a computer down there. Jeez.
The biggest basement, but
Believe it. My family had some pretty big basements. Maybe not like playing like wiffle ball, baseball, or whatever in the basement sort of thing. But it's like it was a very long like basement, so like you could easily like play tag or whatever in there. So I believe him. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
fine.
To sum it up, Delaran Academy, yeah, they probably knew what they were doing, and they did it anyways.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
Well, we broke my mom's treadmill, but that's a different
Just so you know.
story.
I mean, let's be
And,
real.
uh,
At least it wasn't Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 that you broke. You broke Lego Star Wars, so that's lower on the scale.
Bruh!
It got rebranded.
I
Lego
say
Star
this
Wars
as
is
somebody who
perfect.
I grew up with Lego Star Wars 2. I maximum 100%ed the first game, unlocked all the
You nerd.
characters. Yeah, I am a massive nerd. What of it?
It's like he
We're
runs
briefly
this channel.
playing Lego Star Wars and having a lot of fun with it. But a game that I played recently, like just this past year, I got an emulator and I played. What was it? The Force Unleashed, and that was a
Oh
lot
my
of
god,
fun.
yes.
The Force Unleashed was so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I loved
I
that
think I
game.
got
Just
to
like,
play it.
yes, Force lightning, everything.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the whole thing of that. It's like, okay, this game is canon, and like, there's no fucking way they can explain this as canon. Hey, son, yeah, what is it, Lord Vader? Listen, technically, I'm not supposed to hire you as an apprentice. So if you see anybody, including, I don't know, stormtroopers, Wookiees, anything that has legs or is flying, just kill it. Just fucking kill it. No one will ever know that you were there, and we'll have our cover story. Okay, cool. Just murder all of them.
I remember the bit where you basically have to, like, where you're no longer technically his apprentice, quote unquote, and like you have to take on like the false role of a Jedi, and you're having to escape the ship. It was like I decided, it's like, okay, I'm playing this. I'm going to go full hard mode here and not use any of what would be considered a Sith power, so like no Force lightning or anything. And I was trying really hard, and I got through like up through the end of that level, and then I had to go up against like the what was it, like the black robots, like the death.
The assassin droids.
Yeah, it
basically.
was like the death troopers or something like, along those lines. But at that point, it was like I just couldn't. They were just too accurate. They just kept beating my ass, and I'm probably just like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna go Sith on them. Nobody will know a thing, just for this spot, and then I'll go back to being a good Jedi.
Excellent.
Yeah, it really was good at making you feel like a god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Force Unleashed was hailed, like it is hailed as like one of the best Star Wars games they've ever made.
Until recently, when it was dethroned by Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one, since I lived with Trey when he got that game, and he was playing it religiously for about a month, maybe. And I think I'd be like at my desk working on like creating graphics and stuff for Advent 7, you know, like anything like that. And I just hear down the hall in his room, like he's just screaming as he's just killing and being killed over and over again. Please take it from me.
So yeah, Jedi Fallen Order is basically Star Wars Dark Souls. It's a very good story, and as far as we can tell, it's technically canon.
It is canon.
It's like Force Unleashed can't say that.
I mean,
They tried.
you can try.
Oh, it's canon.
God,
It's canon in Soul Calibur.
Like that's where the symbol for the rebellion and everything came from.
Gotta bring that up.
Yeah, no, it's Soul Calibur 4 canon.
Okay. Mild talk about Soul Calibur here. Number one, the fact that Darth Vader is in it is perfectly fine. The real cheater was fucking Yoda, where it's like, hey, you know what my hitbox is? Your foot!
Yoda was so short in that game that Nightmare would swing his sword just right over Yoda's head. You wouldn't have
He
to
would
do
use a
anything.
mid-attack, and it would be 2 feet over his head!
Like those 3 DLC characters just totally broke that game. Like
Tiny characters always have the advantage in any kind of fighting
And
game
it
or
was
FPS.
sucked because freaking Yoda would just be like, he would be like a frog holding the lightsaber above his head and just jump forward. It would break your guard. He would do it again, and now you're off the edge, or now you're dead. And you would go, okay, let's do my combo. Swing. Oh, wait, that's a mid-attack. And now I'm being stabbed again by the frog. God fucking damn it!
So yes, the anger. Take all that anger towards the Soul Calibur 4 and just concentrate it while you're playing fucking the Force Unleashed when you've never played a game like Dark Souls before. This was my first attempt at a get good or get done game. And
Yeah.
so yeah, Force Unleashed or Fallen Order has such a good story. The graphics are so good. I just popped it into my PlayStation 5 earlier today, and the graphics are so crisp. It is crisp and it's tasty. But yeah, no, this game it's got such a good story. It's such a good story. And I hate
the sound
Kashyyyk.
design.
Sound design, everything about this game is top tier, but I hate Kashyyyk. I hate it with a fiery passion. The Kashyyyk is the planet where the Wookiees are from, and it is a horror planet it's just a horrible planet to be on.
Yeah,
The
Space
spiders
Marines
are
are
awful.
nice.
I was about to ask,
like-
are there spiders on there?
Yes.
Giant spiders.
That is where the giant spiders are. It's like there, and Dathomir is not a fun place either, but there's the hot goth witch lady, which makes up for it.
Andrew's
No,
gonna be a bit conflicted now.
Stop.
He's gonna be a bit conflicted now. He's like, on the one hand, spiders. On the one hand, hot lady.
No, we're not gonna talk about that. But for the most part, it's a great game. Like it's beautiful. There's fantastic sound design. The gameplay is very tight. But I remember Keef Crew. Like I watched Keef Crew on YouTube, and he was complaining about that on Twitter as well. He hated that planet too.
Yep.
So I think
It's
it's kind of
once
widely
again, game's
despised.
great, but God, do you hate your life? If you hate spiders, you will hate your life, and it's just a dense forest jungle that you can't backtrack on. Once you get to a certain point, you're like, there's no backtracking from here. You have to keep pressing forward, which is basically every planet that the first time you play through. It's like, once you get to there's a certain point where you can't go back. It's like, well, I'm stuck here until I learn the skill or get the thing that can take me back off of this fucking planet.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Really, I'm glad I didn't buy that game and I just watched Trey play it. Like, I had enough just witnessing his stress.
Like, it's
Did
a
that
beautiful game.
Get a PS5 patch.
I
Get a proper
don't
PS5
know.
patch.
I don't think it got a proper PS5.
Because I
patch,
know
that's
that
why-
one of the complaints of it was like load zones and stuff.
Oh dear.
It might. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far
Like there were
yet. I
some
don't
very obvious like problems with like data streaming in. Like there was just so much data that they couldn't stream it in proper.
Well, I played on a PC and I had no
SSD
problem.
might, and SSD just might fix that. So the PS5 just on its own might just fix that just by way of having an SSD. But I don't know.
Well, I put my game on the hard drive for my PC and it ran just fine, but
Yeah, well,
But it's the PC.
it's a laptop though. So
Wow.
Yeah, the only thing
I'm
is,
sitting here with my beautiful gaming desktop. Don't you go anywhere. Well, obviously you're not.
it gets up and walks away. But yeah,
It
the-
uses the
Away. I'm
fan
gonna be
and
sitting here
hovers
in my
away.
chair wondering what's in my drink right now.
but yeah, all I know is that the PS5, when I popped in the PlayStation 4 disc into the system, it didn't transfer up my save data, which it only does. There's only some games that if you have a PS4 version, that some of the data will transfer up, not all of it. Like it kept my trophy data, but it did not keep my save data, so it's just a fresh file instead of I could have played on New Game Plus with the Sith. I think it still I wonder. It should have that DLC, but I guess it won't unlock it until much later. Because last May 4th, they just dropped a free DLC in the middle of me playing the game. They dropped a free DLC where they added in basically a boss rush mode. Well, not a boss rush, but a battle arena where you could fight just about any one of the monsters that you could fight in the game in any type of setup. High-level bosses, mid-level bosses, random monsters. You could put hundreds of them into a void of a battlefield, and it's just your lightsaber against them, and you could just go to town.
That
They
sounds
also get-
amazing.
Yeah,
Why did I
and
never hear about this?
yeah, it was just a free DLC event, and they also added in a Sith costume or an Inquisitor outfit for the main character Cal Kestis, because during the game you get to unlock every color of the of the Jedi spectrum for lightsaber colors, but they never gave
so
you
it's
a
like
red
Force
one.
Unleashed in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah, they just gave you a Cal Kestis Inquisitor outfit with the red lightsaber. It's so cool.
Damn.
So cool. It's
I didn't
so
And
cool.
the New Game Plus, they added that feature as well.
Yeah. So yeah, if I want to do that, I have to go either completely finish this game on PS5, which I'm working on. I just started it today, but then I'll just go back to my PS4 and hop on that for a little bit, test out some of those fights, try and figure out how to beat some of those monsters the perfect way, because I can't. I've done some of them, but some of them are just too hard to beat unless you've got the perfect parry timing.
Don't turn into Spencer, Trey. Don't try to be perfect at every game you play. It's not worth the time. It's not worth the time and investment.
Kingdom Hearts, so much.
Yeah, don't
One
be
day I'll have
like
a
Spencer.
PS5. One day I'll play Demon Souls, and one day I will continue my pain in gaming.
Are there any
Yes.
new Star Wars games coming down the pipe?
There
Lego
is
Star
one.
Wars, the Skywalker Saga.
So yeah, it's basically the Lego move. It's the Lego Star Wars game, but this time adding in the sequel trilogy as well. So it'll be nine different gameplay levels instead of just 6.
Plus, I think not the side stories.
Will it include Rogue One? Does it include Rogue
And
One?
so I don't know. We can look that up, but
There was what was there? Were they making like a new Rogue Squadron game or something?
They're making both a Rogue Squadron movie and a game.
Oh, that's right. Right, yeah. Okay, it was a movie. I saw that slate, that image that you sent me, Trey. And I can put that on screen. We can talk more about that later. But yeah, I saw that. I couldn't tell if it was a new TV show or a movie. So that's really cool. I'm happy that they're going to make a story centralized on Rogue Squadron and those characters. I've always wanted to know more about them specifically. Do we know if Wedge is going to be in it?
I have no idea. It's like this
Not a
takes
clue.
place.
Okay.
It's like this takes place after the end of Rise of Skywalker, so it's going to
Okay,
be somewhere in
then-
the future.
Absolutely not. Okay. All right, cool. There is a game that I don't know if you guys remember this or not. There was a Star Wars game that was in development right before Disney acquired Star Wars and Lucasfilm Ltd. It was called Star Wars 1313.
yep.
Never heard of that one.
Okay.
Me neither.
It was the on Coruscant, level 1313,
Yes.
and it was supposed to be somewhat like a Mass Effect, that kind of game. I think it was like a more Mass Effect style Star Wars game, or like a.
Yeah, you were like going through this underground world full of aliens and criminals, and there was like no Jedi involved. Like you were basically just like a bounty hunter, and it was very Mass Effect style gameplay survival.
So it essentially would be what Halo ODST was to the rest of the Halo series.
Kind of.
Not-
Yeah. Kind of. Basically, like, this game was toting the mature vibe. Like, it was playing up that, look, this is going to be, like, the first truly serious, mature, like, Star Wars game that's been made. Like, they were hyping this up to be a big deal. They showed it off at E3 2009. No. It was shown off at E3 2012 with a full 6 minutes of gameplay. And there were even people from Nerdist and IGN who were allowed to play the demo and then give their thoughts about it, and they reported on it. And this game looked gorgeous for the time. It was a fully fledged, fully layered Star Wars game. It was very highly hyped. And then LucasArts was acquired by Disney. And Disney immediately shut this game down because the story and continuity was going to mess with Disney's plans. So
I mean, a lot of things messes with Disney's plans.
It's
So
true.
they threw out the entire Legends universe.
Yeah, it says here, LucasArts was shut down in 2013 by Disney, who had purchased the Star Wars franchise for $4 billion months earlier. So yeah, Star Wars 1313 is one of those games that could have been that some diehard fans still kind of, wish they had a chance to play. So that's always stuck in
Also-
my mind.
there was a Battlefront game that was also in development, and the whole point of the Battlefront game was essentially incorporate the more air, like you'd progress in the battle. You'd start off in space, and then you'd go into the Sky Theater, and then you'd eventually work your way down to ground combat. And they were using a bunch of it was essentially like how one of the developers described it was, and I forgot the name of it, but they took a bunch of footage from U.S. troops in Iran in 2004, and they used that sort of as a basis for how they developed this Star Wars game.
Holy cow. That's really cool.
But then Disney.
Yeah.
But then
Disney
However,
swept
good
in.
news is there is now Lucas Gaming, which just came to be a thing recently.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
Fallen Order is still a great game, so it's not like we never had a good Star Wars game after that. But it was kind of a missed opportunity. So, yeah, were there any other Star Wars games that people really liked, or is it like Lego Star Wars was kind of just like the apex? Like, seems
Kinda,
like
yeah.
that was the most
Like-
common one we all really liked.
It's like I played that a lot when I went to the youth center. It's like I think that was my first exposure to the original trilogy. Now that I think about it, because I don't think I ever watched the original trilogy, but I remember playing the Lego version.
Yeah.
I loved Empire at War. That was a fun game.
Oh, I don't know that one.
It's RTS, StarCraft, Star Wars.
Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, it definitely sounds like an RTS game. Do we want to talk about that upcoming slate of new projects?
Yes, let's get into these upcoming projects. So I just have them listed out with some quick information. They don't have a lot of information for most of these shows, but
Okay.
some of them have some things. So the first one they have on their website list, I'm just going down that list, is the Rogue Squadron movie being directed by Patty Jenkins of Wonder Woman fame. That's coming out in 2023, supposedly. That's when it's slated for. It's like Christmas of 2023. Basically, the premise is it's a Rogue Squadron movie. So the blurb is the story will introduce a new generation of starfighter pilots as they earn their wings and risk their lives in the boundary-pushing, high-speed thrill ride and move the saga into the future era of the galaxy.
Okay,
So,
cool.
So that's what Rogue Squadron is going to be about. There's good Taika Waititi is getting a movie. We just don't know what it's going to be called yet. They're just gonna, but he's going to get to direct a movie.
Works for me.
Like we've
They're just bringing in all of their Marvel talent to rescue Star Wars.
basically.
I mean, Jon Favreau, like, he created The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's like Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
It's funny to me.
Dave Filoni,
Like, in my opinion, The Mandalorian is really where current interest for Star Wars on a wide scale reignited was with
Definitely.
The Mandalorian. That's definitely where I really got interested in the franchise again. And Jon Favreau started that. He also directed Iron Man, which just started
Disney
the
knows who to
MCU.
bet on
So,
sometimes
boy, is
they
that
just know who to
man
bet on.
talented or what?
Yeah. So we got that. We got Obi-Wan Kenobi. We don't know when this is coming out, but we know that Ewan McGregor, and Hayden Christensen will be together on screen again. Well,
be
Hayden
beautiful.
Christensen will be Darth Vader. I'm mad about this because according to Rebels lore, Obi-Wan and Vader do not meet. They also according to the original trilogy, Obi-Wan and Vader don't meet before the Death Star. So I don't know how they're going to do this, but supposedly they're going to have a fight.
I mean,
So how
cool.
it's going to be a dream sequence.
I mean,
Yeah.
technically, Rey and Kylo sort of fought, but then they weren't in the same room together.
Yeah, but Obi-Wan
True.
and Anakin aren't a dichotomy. What was it called?
A
Dichotomy?
dyad in the Force.
Dyad in the Force. There we
Yeah,
go.
but I mean, have you seen?
Stupid fucking plot twist on that.
Yeah.
Oh, it counts as a life because it's kind of rare. Okay. Do we want to investigate?
fair,
No,
We
we're
can
just gonna do
kind of
that.
say the Force, and the Force kind of can explain everything. Just say, oh yeah, because the Force, sure.
I
Yeah,
do
no,
remember my experience with the end of that movie was don't kiss, don't kiss, don't kiss. God damn it!
Kiss. They kiss, and then he dies.
It's just like why?
Oh wait, are we talking
Why?
about? We're talking about the kiss in
We're
episode
talking
9
about
now.
the kiss.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
I
Star Wars
want
has a
to.
problem with incest.
It's not incest.
They're
but
cousins.
Well,
they're
Luke
not.
and Leia kissed.
Yeah, but we didn't know they were related, and then it became weird.
Matter? Does that matter?
They didn't know they were related.
It's so weird. I didn't even think about that, but you're right. This is kind of a trend, isn't there?
Yeah, no.
So what you're saying is that it runs in the
Look at this and
family.
be like, why?
No,
Why did you
okay,
like
okay.
this?
I just wanted to say that. So I remember when I was in the theater on that Thursday night that the film premiered. I bought tickets early. I was sitting next to, I think Bronson. I think Bronson saw the movie with us. And when that
Did he?
kiss,
That doesn't make any sense.
I was pretty sure he was with us. But but anyways, like whoever's sitting next to me, that kiss happens. Very, very rarely do I ever have a physically ill reaction to seeing something on screen in a movie. But when I saw that kiss, I had to reflexively turn away because I could not handle this sight that I was looking at. It revolted me so much that I'm not saying that I was playing it up. I wasn't trying to be dramatic, and I wasn't doing it for the sake of anybody else sitting next to me. I genuinely just looked away immediately as soon as I saw it, because I'm like, that is not supposed to happen. That is not supposed to. That is weird. That's wrong. It's morally, ethically wrong. Delaran Academy says
It's
we
family
didn't know.
values.
Delaran Academy says we didn't know, so it's okay.
I think they're talking about the Luke and Leia one.
They're talking about the Luke and Leia kiss. Yeah, it was okay up until a certain point, and then Star Wars just had to make it weird. It always makes this weird.
It's like, officially speaking, Kylo and Rey aren't related, but it's still weird. I saw that, I'm like, ew.
It's weird thematically, not because of weird family ties. It's just weird. It's like, wait, you guys have been literal enemies this entire time, and wait, what? Excuse me?
But she saw him without a shirt, and you gotta admit that was the best scene in the series.
Yeah, it's just like she was like, oh shit, he's hot.
Oh no, he's hot.
No, he's hot.
Yeah, once again, I say death to all Reylo shippers. Death to all.
I haven't met anybody who was a Reylo shipper. I haven't met anybody
you
in
know
person.
of.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure some of my friends have been hiding that. They've been hiding in secrecy, in plain sight. But I don't know
Andrew
anybody
has
who's...
something to tell you.
Don't you do it. Don't you do
Are
it.
you gonna tell me that you're about to get kicked off this podcast?
No, I'm saying I really want to talk about Bad Batch.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah,
what is Bad Batch?
Bad Batch. Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
I've
I'll
never
let you do
actually
it.
heard of Bad Batch.
All right, so Bad Batch is if you've seen Clone Wars, do you remember Clone Soldier 99 and
Clone Troopers 99. So this happens at the start of season 7. So spoilers.
the assault on Camino, right? Yeah, the Camino.
Yeah, so there's a lot that happens, but essentially the Bad Batch are a group, is a squad of clones that are super defective. They're hyper efficient, but they're super defective by the clone standards.
So
And
like they don't follow orders or something like that?
They basically do what they want, but the defects are both. They don't look like clones. Like none of them look like Boba Fett or Jango Fett.
Got you.
But they
It's
have
like-
the fighting skills of a clone still, and they technically wear commando armor.
Yeah.
They have the DC repeaters. They have the armor itself as well. They have the knife that the clamp commandos have, and they have the plot armor of most commandos. So it's sort of following them. But what's really cool about Bad Batch is, so we've seen the Bad Batch in the Clone Wars. However, this Bad Batch, it takes them because Execute Order 66 also targeted the Commandos and ARC because
Really?
they have
The ARC troopers, huh?
because they're more defiant in nature. And so the Commandos had a choice whether they could stay or whether they could defect, really. And most chose to stay, but there are quite a few cases of them defecting. However, these guys probably have the same mentality since they're defective, their biochip probably didn't work or something, and you see them defect as well. And so you get to see these people survive Order 6. Well, we don't know if we'll see them survive Order 66 or not, but we get to see them be essentially turned traitor from their brothers and have their brothers then try to attack them. And from the teaser we saw, we think one of the Bad Batch does stay with the Empire. And so that'll be fun to see.
So yeah, one of the clones, for those of you who watch Clone Wars, is basically from the main squad that we always saw. His name was Echo. CT 5555 is his clone number. But yeah, Echo joins this elite commando squadron in season 7. There's a lot of things that happen. I won't go into it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but we just basically have a 5-man band, and we're going to be seeing a lot of that stuff, and that premieres on Disney Plus May 4th. So something else to check
Is
out.
that actually coming so soon? Oh, I didn't know that.
I guess
it's coming out
something had to happen on the 4th, right? So that's cool. That's really cool. I'm glad that we got new content.
Disney's releasing a new content every single week. If you look at their calendar, there's a new thing being released every single week on Disney Plus, whether it's Star Wars or Marvel.
As long as they have a TV show to premiere, they always have something new every Friday. Technically, this will be on a Tuesday, so this will be extra special.
Yeah,
but it's like they're always adding new movies. Like they always have a what are we releasing this month on YouTube? They always make a video saying these are the major things we're releasing this month. So like we got different movies, some movies that we acquired through our dealings and we're putting on to Disney Plus. Like they're officially adding on X-Men The Last Stand and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer this month.
Oh, I didn't know they were adding those movies too. That's pretty cool. So
Disney basically has all the library, and they just made a deal recently to get the Spider-Man movies once their deal with Netflix is done. So
I mean, Marvel just needs to admit it that like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to show up in the next Spider-Man film. Like they just need to come out and say it by this point. They practically confirmed it with this move.
I mean, apparently Tom Holland hasn't seen either of them, so who knows?
That doesn't mean anything.
But they also keep the script from Tom Holland as well. So
yeah, right.
I mean, they hide everything from him.
They don't tell him what the title of the movie is. They tell him actually you're going to be the new Iron Man. This movie's called Iron Man now, Iron Man 4. But okay, well I'm psyched to check out Bad Batch then. I need to like get on Mandalorian season 2 and wrap it up because I just got to the episode where they introduced Ahsoka Tano again. But I'm gonna blow through that and then jump on Bad Batch as soon as it comes out because I'm excited for that. That's cool. And I like how they're just acknowledging these characters that originated from the Clone Wars series. You know, those characters could have easily been forgotten.
Definitely. It's like that's why we were so excited. They're also, I don't know which show they're casting for, but I heard they cast the guy who played Aladdin in the live action Aladdin remake as Ezra for something. I'm assuming it's for the Ahsoka show.
Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah. Speaking of which, Ahsoka is one of the shows obviously slated. Thanks to Mandalorian season 2, bring on the backdoor pilots. We officially now they got the field test to be like, okay, people like Ahsoka, make a show now. Go,
do it, put it out. Get them Ahsoka. They want Ahsoka. Quick.
Right, they're making an Ahsoka show. We're getting the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's taking the place of Mandalorian at the end of the year. And then we'll probably get Mandalorian season 3 either mid next year or end of next year.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian just, doing God's work and just setting up all these future shows and stories for us.
Pretty much,
It's
yeah.
turning on money.
I swear, the
mean,
Mandalorian is their new Iron Man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it basically is. It's the start of everything.
That's
It's
what they
interesting
literally
because
did.
a lot of Star Wars is supposed to be like this rebellious thing, and there's going to be them versus us. And you watch Mandalorian, it's like, this is just a space western, and I don't give a fuck. This is great.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I love space westerns. When I realized during like the first or second episode, this is a space western. Oh my god, like I got even more hyped. I'm like, good gracious, like they are taking all of the cliches and tropes of space westerns and adding the Star Wars spin on it. And I love that. We even needed that for so long.
I just like to pour one out here for Firefly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm just going to
Yeah.
out here for good old Firefly.
We won't forget you, Firefly. We still miss you.
And your prequel, Outlaw Star.
I mean, okay, come on. Everything ties back to Outlaw Star. Let's be real.
I mean, that's why it's on my 3x3, dude.
Yeah,
Like, I'll
yeah,
make my 3x3 soon.
yeah.
Okay,
Well,
some of the
anyways.
some of the other shows or movies they've got coming down the timeline. Rangers of the New Republic. So I believe this is the one that was supposed to be featuring Cara Dune.
Right.
I don't know where we are with her anymore because I heard that they possibly made up with her. Possibly.
They actually made up with her.
I've heard that.
I figured
sure
they
hope
wouldn't
so.
because once Disney kicks you out, you're you don't piss off the mouse.
Yeah, it's very rare that they would bring somebody back, but I hope that they bring her back because she was great at her character, and I would very much miss her character, like in the future series that Star Wars has coming down here. I mean, James Gunn came back. That took a long time, but he did come back, so who knows?
But it took a giant social media movement. There isn't really that for Kara. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kara's kind of had a lot of hatred online.
I just heard. I think I saw something. She's like her name came up in the news recently, so maybe she'll at least come back for season 3 of Mandalorian. But for now, I don't fully know.
Wait,
They
is
also-
there a season 3 of Mandalorian on the
We're getting a
horizon?
season 3. They haven't announced it, but we're getting a season 3. Don't no one pretend like we're not.
That's fair.
It was a pretty conclusive bit there.
It was very conclusive, but
Like, I feel like there has to be some other shows come out first before anything continues on with Mandalorian.
Well,
Yeah,
I guess
that's-
season 3 is just going to be called Another Mandalorian.
so I think I Book of Boba Fett, which could build on that. It could create what we need for the Mandalorian.
I mean, yeah.
Speaking the Mandalorian, I don't know if Lego is still selling that Razor Crest set or not. I'm gonna look that up because watching this show again like really makes me want the Lego version of the Razor Crest set. Like, I'd love to have a Lego Mandalorian character.
Pour one out for the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
No, like yes, I
How
want to
that
continue.
thing was able to be airtight through all the shit that it went through in the show is like it's anyone's guess.
Yes, they're still selling it.
Right from One Piece. It lasted until it couldn't last no more.
It lasted
Pretty
until
much.
it just got absolutely blown up.
Like I said, it lasted till it couldn't last no more.
I mean, they did, at least they didn't like make the boat in One Piece explode.
Didn't light on fire though.
Andrew, that's exactly what happened.
Wait, that's what happened? Okay, I don't watch a lot of One Piece, man.
Okay, let me put it this way.
Sky high.
The Going Merry had more dignity at the end of its life. The Razor
Yeah.
Crest was like, bye!
It's like, guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die then.
Yes!
Got you.
Because
Okay.
the old man
Oh.
is holding his hands up. I guess I'll die.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is Lego is indeed still selling the Razor Crest for $130 on their site. So
Oh, is that it?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
that's God.
That's all.
God, Lego, I love you, but man, I'm never gonna be able to afford you. Not
We
okay.
had an OnlyFans.
I was about to say it. I'm not gonna say it.
We're not doing this. Anyway, so they're also going to be making a Lando show. I assume they're going to try and use Donald Glover's Lando Calrissian. I really hope they can get him to come back.
They really
but
should. he was a great Lando Calrissian. And I feel like not enough people saw that because they didn't go to see Solo. He's one of the best parts of that film. So I'm excited to see what a TV show just about Lando is going to do. I want to take this moment. I know I've probably already said this before, but Solo, A Star Wars Story, is fantastic because for the most part it's a heist movie, and you get to see a lot of the banter between Han Solo and Lando when they first meet. And you learn about their relationship together. I think it's great, and I want to see more of Donald Glover's Lando at the very least. So this is a good sign. It's a very good sign. What I do want to know, though, Trey, is what the heck is the Acolyte?
So the Acolyte, the Acolyte. It's going to be a Disney Plus TV show. All it says is the Acolyte is a mystery thriller that will take the audience into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. So this might be going back in time.
Yeah, that sounds like it's going back
the dark side.
So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with the Acolyte? They don't even have a date or anything for that. All they have is the director or the showrunner for this one, Leslie Headland, Emmy-nominated creator of Russian Doll. Never heard of it. I don't watch a lot of high quality TV, so it's like I watch cartoons like a real man.
Cartoons can be high quality. What are you talking about?
I know. That's why I prefer cartoons.
Okay, yeah, like that caught my eye as soon as I saw this image of all the stuff on their slate, and I was like, what is that supposed to be? So okay, all right, it's very dark side stuff. Got it.
And it looks like, and we're getting Andor, the prequel to Rogue One, featuring Cassian Andor, still played by Diego Luna, coming next year in 2022.
I was afraid that was who it was about. I don't care about that character in the slightest. Like I absolutely don't.
I think he did a great moment where when he just killed the other person at the very beginning in that opening scene where we meet him.
Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was pretty.
That was cool. like it. He had to. Like it's
if we get more of those type of scenes, I mean, or like more environment, like not just him just murdering people, but I mean that'd be kind of cool as well. But just having more of those dark and gritty scenes.
Yeah.
Then yeah.
I mean, if K2SO's in it, then you could sell me on it again. Like,
yeah, I'd be on board with that. And we also are getting something that will be very important to us here at Advent 7, Star Wars Visions. 10 shorts that basically turn Star Wars into the anime of our dreams.
Is that what it is?
So,
is that what
we're
they're
doing? The Animatrix with Star Wars.
Yeah, it sounds like it's supposed to be an anthology thing for anime type stories.
Yeah, it's like the anthology collection will bring 10 fantastic visions from several of the leading Japanese anime studios, offering a fresh and diverse cultural perspective to Star Wars.
What?
You can't see it right now, but
are you kidding me?
I have my arms outraised to the sky. I'm praising Star Wars Jesus. Thank you. Oh, it sounds awesome. I love anime anthologies.
Didn't they do that with Batman too?
They did.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yes, they did.
They did it with
one of them basically is just Light Yagami as Batman, and it's like, did you know that guns make a sound, and if you time it right, you can just deflect bullets? And then we never use it again because one of the bullets hit someone else and Batman felt bad.
Well, I'm looking into this now. I'm looking into Visions to see like which studios are behind.
Done anything
this.
in pre-production yet? They just announced it. I don't know if they have anything else on it.
Okay, because they gotta get Studio 4C in on this.
Like, probably. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, if they and like maybe even Production IG. I know Production IG isn't what they used to be, but they can still make cool stuff.
I mean, Production IG I think they're making. Aren't they the ones behind Megalobox? Because I
think so. Well, I mean, at the very least, IG is the one that's been behind a lot of Ghost in the Shell stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the last one on this list is A Droid Story, which I find kind of interesting because the way they're describing it, it sounds like it's going to be a mix of live action and some type of animation. Because it's as Lucasfilm continues to develop new stories, the intersection of animation and visual effects offers new opportunities to explore. A Droid Story is the epic journey of a new hero being guided by our classic duo, R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Okay, yeah. I guess we had to have a story about just these two this time.
So what you're telling me is that they're making a Bionicle movie?
Yes.
I don't like this trend that's happening. But here's the thing: is like, how are they going to have an exciting adventure? C-3PO can't like scale more than 10 feet in a day.
Well,
Episode one.
I mean, R2-D2 can fly, but I mean, he can't carry C-3PO.
No, I was definitely gonna go episode 1, the stairs. C-3PO. Fuck. End credits.
Yep, that's it. That's the end of the story. It was a good story. It was a droid story. It was a Star Wars story.
Yeah, just like me going to a store and taking a nap is a Professor Shinobi story. That's a droid story.
Okay. I feel like we could sit here and talk about Star Wars all day, but I think we'll stop for now.
Yeah, I'd say like we talked about all the stuff we love, and we did go over the upcoming slate. So, but
it's like we got some interesting stuff. We'll see. Star Wars has been up and down. Right now, it's back on an upswing thanks to Mandalorian and beautiful baby Grogu. It's like, this is the way.
Why is his name Grogu? I hate that name. I hate Grogu because it sounds too much like Rogu, the alien child from American Dad.
No, just name him Grog then, and it's like, yeah!
Like, they couldn't have come up...
Let's do this!
They couldn't have come up with a cuter name for Baby Yoda. I mean, that's why we want to call him Baby Yoda, because Grogu... What the hell? That sounds like something I buy out of like a Stouffer's meal, like at Walmart. like, come on.
It sounds like one of the knockoff Pokemon. Grogu.
It does.
It does.
It really does.
It does. All right. Well, we'd love it if everyone would continue the conversation in the comments section below. Tell us why C-3PO is a Bionicle.
No.
Or tell us whether or not you think a Jedi could beat Goku. It's an anime channel. We have to bring Goku into it at some point. If you liked what you heard here today, leave us a like, subscribe to Advent7 here on YouTube, and also follow us on Twitter at Advent7, Advent_7, and also check out Advent7.com for more news and discussions on anime, video games, comic books, Star Wars, whatever.
Whatever you want us to talk about. we don't care.
I'm Trey.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Professor Shinobi.
I'm Spencer.
I'm Philip.
And may the Force be with you.
This is the way.
May the fourth be with
No, we gotta say it all at once. This is the way, okay? 3, 2, 1. This is the way.
way. Wow, it didn't sound
Of
cold
the Bionicle. Okay.
C-3PO's a Bionicle. Spread it around. Spread it around.
Don't do it. Okay. Okay. And with that, we take it away. Good night, people.